Hello everyone, my name is Nipun. My mentor's name is Miss Kumar. She helped me a lot with the exhibition. My topic is mass production in connection with overbuying versus minimalism. My guiding question is, how does mass production affect people and the environment, and what can we do to stop it? First of all, I predicted that the exhibition for me would be hard. With the help of my mentors and my parents, exhibition got easier. Soon, I like to write journals reflecting our exhibition process and the approaches to learning skills we used. The problem that I discovered while researching was it's hard to get the information I needed in an article. In addition, it was pretty hard to take notes. First, I read to myself the whole article and tried to understand what it was trying to say, and then checked if it's answering my question. If it did, then I wrote it in my own words. Mass production is making of large quantities of products by means of machines in a short period of time. As a result of mass production only, in 1910s the cars were available for middle class society at a lower price by Ford Motor Company. Even though we are utilizing the advantage of mass production, let's take a look at the other side of it. We buy stuff like clothes, toys, and etc. whenever we go shopping outside. But these are actually used only for a short time and occupy space in home. Textile industry is one of the most polluting industries in the world. Hence, I would like to analyze the environmental and social issues we face in the textile industry, which I will talk further in my speech. I was interested in these three questions. Why do people really overbuy? What are the sellers doing to attract us to buy their product? What can we do to stop it? I researched this topic on the websites. First, I brainstormed everything that I knew about mass production. Then, I wrote down all my questions on a paper and started to answer them one by one. This is a picture to express my ideas. I want to make a big difference because the garment industry is one of the most polluting industries. I interviewed Mrs. Sumati because she works as a bank manager in Tirupur city in India, which exports clothes to popular brands in the world like Adidas, Nike, and etc. I have demonstrated thinking skills and have become knowledgeable by finding new strategies to take notes and inform myself about my topic. I was a risk taker by trying out new tools for my exhibition, even though I had not used them before. I was a communicator as I discussed things with my parents about my topic. During our conversations with my parents and my mentor, I was open minded when they suggested their ideas and shared different points of view. I was an inquirer throughout my whole research journey. I had maintained a well balance between my play and study time. Reflection has become an ongoing habit for me, and I enjoyed reflecting my learning journey and journaled regularly. Deciding about my artistic piece is another example of it. First, I planned a draft on a paper and then kept adding details. I then decided to make a collage. My artistic piece shows different scenes like how, due to textile mass production, the factories let out more chemicals to the river connecting to ocean. People are attracted by offers. Later, connecting to minimalism as one of the solutions. I made my final art piece with the supplies available in my house. I have tried to be creative and organized to present my artistic piece in a neat and attractive way. Online learning. The advantages are learning new ways of communication and making new experiences. The disadvantages are we are not making live presentations at school and I couldn't meet my mentor personally. We used Noodle tools to source our websites we used to research. Here are the websites I have used: Fact Monster, Carbon Track, Brain Pop, Redesigning Fashion's Future, and Becoming Minimalist. Impacts. What is happening now in the last 15 years, globally, clothing production has been almost doubled, even though population had increased only 1%. As the revenue is higher in the industry, more players are coming and misleading mass production by producing over the saturated point of demand. To gain more profit, they use marketing strategies such as buy 3 get 2 free, limited time offers, loyalty points, and so on to attract consumers and to change their mindsets to buy their products beyond their needs. But there's a high hidden cost on the environment and societal impacts. Textile industries heavily pollute water, air, and land and also deplete natural resources which will take much longer to replenish. Now, let's take a look at the pollution, starting with air. Greenhouse gas are emitted during fiber production, clothing production, use and after use. Annually, it is 1.2 billion tons of CO2 emission, which is more than the amount of international flights and the maritime shipping combined. We always talk about pollution caused by plastic and paper waste, but the textile industry has a bigger impact than them. 1 ton of textile production emits 17 tons of CO2, which is far higher than paper and plastic industries. Next, let's take a look into water pollution. Textile industry produces 20% of the world's water waste due to dyeing and treatment of textiles. For example, the production 1 kg of cotton garments uses up 3 kg chemicals. The most produced clothing material is polyester, which ejects microfiber. Annually, the industry ejects about 500 million tons of microfiber, which is equivalent to 50 million plastic bottles. In addition, the dye used for coloring clothes end in rivers and ocean. Cotton fibers need more pesticides to yield more. The microfibers from synthetic material cause more health problems. Its size is less than 10 micrometers and invisible to our eyes. These fiber contained water affects the aquatic animal including their cells. In the end, it ends on a plate at a more toxic level. One recent survey says that the people who eat this toxinated fish actually eat about 11,000 pieces of plastic in a year, which is shocking news to me. After buying and using clothes, for every wash it effluents about 2 grams of microfibers that counts 250,000 fibers. A survey says that only 20% of the clothes are recycled. The rest 80% goes in the landfill or gets burned. Even in that 20% recycling, it leads to the same set of pollution. Overall, one garbage truck of textile is landfilled or incinerated every second. As they decompose, natural fibers such as cotton and wool emit greenhouse gas methane into the environment. Plastic-based fibers will remain in landfills for decades. The industry also has multiple negative societal implications. Workers having poor working conditions with long hours and low pay are more affected due to unsafe processes and the hazardous substances or chemicals used in production. In 2013 in Bangladesh, the collapse of Rana Plaza, over 1,000 people died as there were no safety measures. The negative societal impacts also affects the local communities due to industry's poor environmental practices like discharging untreated production wastewater into local rivers. Solutions. In order to save the planet, the fast fashion has to slow down. Mainly, we all have to be responsible consumers. One of the solutions to reduce environmental and social impact could be to follow minimalism. The great Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi was also a minimalist. He had only 8 things that he needed and carried with him on his travels. The concept of minimalism is to just think that when we go for shopping, if this object is really necessary for now, also, does this object add value to your life? The second solution is to utilize the apparel for a longer period of time. The fact is that globally, utilization of apparel has been decreased by 36% in the past 20 years. Report says that we are wearing an apparel for an average of 7 to 10 times only. At least we can improve utilization of the clothes already in our wardrobe, which will eventually reduce greenhouse gas emission by that much amount. Alteration or refurbished options at store for longer use would be another solution. Branded shops can collect their used products from their customers and send it for recycling. Even though some developed countries have high collection rates for reuse and recycling, much of the used clothes in such countries is exported to developing countries with no infrastructure of their own to collect the reused ones. So, infrastructure for collection and recycling is to be made in all countries. If one person overbuys and makes landfill, it seems okay. But if the whole world does the same, then it's a really big problem. Globally, during this COVID 19 time, most of us would have experienced minimalism. Let this situation help us to rethink and reflect over the differences between a need and nice to have. I want to thank my parents, my mentor, my teachers, because without their help, I would have not been able to do this exhibition project. Thank you. Bye.